So hello everyone, welcome to this online lecture. So today's topic of discussion is the commercialization of agriculture and the land rights. So first of all, let's discuss the commercialization of agriculture. During the colonial periods, how the commercialization of agriculture happened, what was its impact, what were its features or significance. We are going to discuss this thing in a detailed manner. So, the commercialization of agriculture during Britain rules refers to the transition in farming practices where agricultural activities were driven by commercial motives. So, earlier the agriculture was for the subsistence, right? Was for the subsistence. Gradually, when the estate formation or the empire building started, this became the source of revenue for the emperors, and also this became the source of income. So from subsistence only, this became a source of income. By selling the crops, farmers get this income. Then gradually this thing became a commercial activity. Means you are producing crops which are commercialized in nature. Means you are not consuming that crops directly, rather than you are selling that crops for generating income. So by the time Britishers came into India was in this second sort of phase. You can say that we were producing crops for ourselves, and we are also giving the taxes for these crops and also selling these crops in the marketplaces for generating some income. But they were not the commercialized crops, they were the normal food grains. Slowly, when the Britishers came into the picture in 18th century, particularly after 1830, after the end of monopoly, the industrialized revolution was accelerated in the England. With the acceleration of the industrial revolution, the basic input in any factory is the raw material, and Britain was not that good in producing the raw materials for the factories, so they started importing the raw materials from India, and that is why one of the reasons is also for their expansion of colonialism in India. The primary objective of just a second, let's me change. Yeah. So the primary objective of commercializing the Indian agriculture was to cater the demands of British industries, as I have told you, as the raw material, and secure commercial benefits from Britain, European, and American markets. So this was the basic idea behind commercializing the Indian agriculture. The emphasis on cultivating crops essential for British industries or those that could yield profits in international markets. So either you are going to produce crops which are needed in the English market, or you are going to produce or you are going to commercialize the crops which are going to get you profit in the international market. So these were the two important aims. So efforts were focused on increasing the cotton production to supply raw materials to the rapidly expanding cotton textile industries in Britain. Additionally, the crops such as indigo, tea, coffee, jute, sugarcane, oil seeds, opium, black pepper, silk, and other cash crops were promoted due to their demand abroad. And these crops collectively, these crops are known as cash crops. Why cash crops? Because you can sell these crops very easily and you can get cash, that is money. That is why these are known as cash crops. The control over most commercial plantations and transactions was in the hands of the British, and cash transactions became predominant mode of exchange, replacing the traditional barter system. So these cash crops were introduced by the Britishers, and these cash crops were also now they were started expanding in the Indian market by the Britishers only, right? So these were the important factors on which these cash crops started originating in India. In essence, the commercialization of agriculture during the British rule aimed to satisfy the requirements of British industries and generate profits from Britain by cultivating specific crops. So, the ultimate aim, the commercialization of agriculture due to rule, aimed to satisfy the requirements of British industries and to generate profits by trading into these cash crops. This leading to the shift towards the commercial considerations and cash-based transactions. Now, how does this commercialization of agriculture started happening? So the commercialization of agriculture in India was primarily instigated by British policies and activities. Obviously, with the introduction of new land tenure systems like the permanent settlement and the Riyatwari settlement, what are these settlements or the land revenue models? We will see in the detail in the coming classes. However, these two or these land revenue systems, they transformed agricultural land into a commodity that could be freely bought and sold. So the commoditization of the lands started after these land revenue systems came into being. Just give you a quick sort of a glimpse that, for example, person A is holding a land and extracting revenue from that land and giving these revenue to the British, right? So person A will be a zamindar extracting revenue from the peasants and giving to the British. Now, for example, this A zamindar is not able to extract that calculated amount or that fixed revenue from that land, then this land will be sold, auctioned to the some other person. So now the land which was a very sacred thing for the Indians started becoming a commodity and which started getting sold. So the permanent settlement conferred ownership rights to zamindars, leading to the emergence of wealthy landholders class P group of people. As a result, agriculture, which was previously a subsistence oriented, shifted towards the production of the sale of domestic and in the international markets, as I have just explained you. High demand crops such as cotton, jute, sugarcane, groundnuts, and tobacco saw increased cultivation. Why they were high yielding? They were high demand crops because they all were used in the factories